So we're here at Blacklist Festival with Zomboy.
Hey.
Your name is Joshua Melody.
Correct.
Yeah. Did you always want to work in music, or because it's kind of perfect?
Funnily enough, no. I wanted to be a chef originally. Before I went to college, I was gonna go down the road of being a chef, being a cook, because that's what my mom did. And that's why I was like, I know how to cook pretty well. So I figured I might go down that road. But all my buddies that were going to college were going off to do music. And I'd been around music a lot growing up, but I never thought I would do that as a job. But I didn't want to be the last guy left in my town on my own, not studying and doing something cool. So I decided, why not go and study music? And it kind of just paid off pretty well.
So it was like on a whim, or?
Yeah. I mean, I would say I was always into music and I always loved music, but I just didn't think I could make a job out of it. So I didn't think I was going to go down that road, but I did, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, how did you make a job out of it? Because I know you started with like sound engineering for bands.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
So the origins were I was an engineer for bands, and I worked with a lot of like what I call real musicians, which I get people a bit angry.
Yeah, that's controversial.
I know, but I mean, I'll say musicians who play instruments. So I would work with them, record them, produce them, and that was what I thought I wanted to do until I moved up to near London, and I went to university, and then I was exposed to dance music, and I was like, maybe I'll try this out. And on a whim, then I tried a dance music, and that kind of paid off pretty much straight away. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be in dance music, but...
Wait, yeah, so were you already a fan, or...?
Honestly, not even. I got exposed to it through my housemates, and at first I actually hated it because I got exposed to like a lot of like deep, dark house techno-y stuff, which back then I was just like, no, I'm a metal kid. I listen to metal music and rock and this kind of stuff, and that stuff did not interest me. And then, the long story short, one day someone showed me Skrillex, and I was like, so dance music can be fun. Okay, and then I tried to make some stuff like that, and it kind of all took off right away.
Like, okay, define right away. Like, how did that happen?
I put 2 demos up on my personal MySpace page. No, my personal Facebook page. Showing my age there, guys. My then manager found me off of 2 demos and wanted to sign me straight away. So I was like, I'm a broke student. What have I got to lose?
That's so lucky. Like,
yeah.
So many people would absolutely
kill to be in that position.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. For sure. I don't take it for granted.
Speaking of Skrillex, can you tell me about Terror Squad?
Terror Squad.
It's fucking Zomboy.
There's multiple stories of this online, but the real one is, I'll do the condensed version. I was hanging out with Sonny at his place in his studio long before I wrote Terror Squad, and he was showing me a bunch of his ideas. The song that was All Is Fair in Love and Bro Step was shown to me, and it must have resonated with me because like 6 months later, I subconsciously had this riff in my head, not knowing at the time that it was one of his ideas, like very similar to one of his ideas that he showed me back then. I wrote the song, released it, and then after it came out, we realized like, oh no, this is like almost exactly like one of his songs.
Sounds like Terror Squad.
Exactly, that old chestnut. But he was very good about it. He took it very lightly, and he actually made the original song sound way much more. Wow, I just said that, guys. He actually made the song sound more like Terror Squad. So when he released it as All Is Love and Fair and Bro Step, All Is Fair and Love and Bro Step, he made it sound more like Terror Squad than the original idea. So it was kind of like a fun back and forth between us.
So it was like amicable.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. At first I was like, uh-oh, is this shots fired? But then he clarified with me. He was just like, no, it's all jokes. I'm like, okay, good.
That's sweet, I think.
It was. Yeah, and it helped because a lot of people thought that him and I had beef before that as well. And that kind of just laid it to rest.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All is fair.
All is fair.
Love and bro
bro
stuff.
step.
Kind of related, I feel like with new technology and like AI stuff, and also just access to technology in general and people being able to produce music quicker and easier. There's been a lot of conversation about original ideas and people taking ideas. So do you think that it will become more amicable? Like there's going to be more like of a sharing culture, or?
I mean, I think we've been in that culture for the last, and with dance music, at least 20 years. Just people have not really known about it. Like samples and things like that. People have shared that stuff. People have created these things to share with other people since the beginning of dance music. And so that hasn't changed. The format of how it's delivered has changed. And in terms of like lacking creativity and it being the same thing repeated, that's just music. Music replicates itself over and over in slightly different ways. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think the credibility of what it takes to make a song might go away, but that's when it's probably going to become more important to be a personality than it is to have good original music, which that's my take on it at least.
How do you feel about that? Because I think, with social media and things, that's kind of a big a turning point, especially for this music.
I'm kind of hoping and waiting for the whole social media thing to collapse. I'm just not about it. And my fans will know that I am not very active on social media because I actively chose to not be active. Wow, that was a roundabout way of saying it.
I think it made sense.
I just didn't want to be attached and glued to my screen all day reading through, especially because early on I got a lot of stick and a lot of hate with the whole me and Skrillex thing, and just like reading through comments and making yourself feel shit about stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna step away from it and just focus on music and my life and myself and not listen to the noise around me.
Yeah.
So for me, I've got the luxury of being able to do that because I feel like at this point like grandfathered in. Whereas obviously it's harder for new people breaking out. It's so important for them to be on social media. But thankfully for me, I don't have to really be part of it.
Can you tell me about like early Never Say Die and how you got into that, I guess? I
mean, Never Say Die was definitely established before I became part of the family, because they had been releasing stuff with like Flux Pavilion and Foreign Beggars and even Skrillex before I even joined the label. So they had some roots before I came, and I feel like Tommy Schism, who was the founder and owner of Never Say Die, he kind of ran that thing like it was a big family, and we kind of, everyone that was on the label incorporated so well. And like I said, it was established before I came along, but I feel maybe with the help of Tommy, I helped elevate the label to a much broader fan base. So yeah, I can't claim any kind of victory for it, but I just kind of helped grow it.
So, you have some timeless dubstep classics.
Couple.
What do you think it takes to make a timeless piece?
If there was a formula for that, we would all have nothing but timeless pieces. I think it's just luck, random luck. And it's always the ones you least expect to be the ones that hit the hardest. Like for me, all my biggest tracks have been written in a few hours, like in a panic before the hand in for my record. So like Terror Squad was written in like half a day. Like a Bitch was written in a few hours.
Stop acting like a fool! Get your hands up!
Yeah, I mean, like those, it's always the ones that you least expect to hit. So again, like I think if there was a formula, I guess the formula is don't give a shit about anything you write, and then one of them will probably hit.
Yeah, okay. No trying. Don't try.
Listen up, kids. Stop trying.
Can you tell me about your label?
My label, Rotten Roll Records. I mean, honestly, when Never Say Die decided to call it quits, I just wanted somewhere I could release my music on my own, where I can own the rights to it and keep things simple. Because I mean, at this point in my career, I don't necessarily need a big label to, lean on. Not to say that labels aren't important, but they are becoming far less important than people think. And for me, Rotten Roll Records was just an establishment for my work to live on. There was never really any intention of creating like a real, broad label out of it. Although I get a lot of people wanting to submit music to it. For right now, it's just somewhere for my music to live and to be released. But who knows, in the future I might open it up and, take other artists on. But right now, it's just a home for my music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, super lucky for you to be able to do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like a lot of the ways that a lot of the artists are going now is like, they don't want to lose 50% of their income of their music to a label. So why not start your own? And that's sad truth, but it kind of comes to that when musicians get bent over the barrel, we'll say. You end up resorting to your own means.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier now, which is good.
For sure, exactly. Because of going back on what I just said, because of social media, you don't need that big juggernaut of a label to push you out there. You can do it yourself on social media. So even though I'm not on it, you should still be on it.
What is your, opinion about the scene in Europe, like the bass music scene? Because it was it started, in the early days,
Yep.
garage and then drum and bass and
Yep.
then dubstep and then now drum and bass again, but now dubstep a little bit more.
I mean, I can say with experience of been doing this long enough that just like any genre, there's always going to be peaks and troughs, ebb and flow, all these different things. And I've witnessed it all over the place where, especially more personally, dubstep is it's huge 1 minute and then the next. Europe definitely fell victim to that kind of mentality of being grabbing hold of it, making it super popular, and then being abandon ship.
Yeah.
And that's fine. New genres come in and they're exciting, or other genres get rebirthed and that's exciting again, and other genres get pushed to the side, and that's just part of the industry. But I think right now, specifically Europe is really fucking exciting. And the last shows that I've been playing here have been insane. And back in the glory day, kind of insane. 2013, 2014, that kind of era. It feels like that again, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good time for Europe and bass music, I think.
So you just played at Blacklist.
I did.
How
Hence
was
why I'm
it?
so sweaty and red. It was insane. These guys, this crowd, the Blacklist following is always so good. And dating back to when I first remember playing my first shows with them, they've always brought such a amazing crowd along with them. So you always know when you see Blacklist, you're oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a good show. And tonight was no exception. It was insane. The energy was mad. And seeing real diehard fans again was so nice. Seeing people singing along to everything, because it's actually really exciting. Because right now my set is, besides 2 songs, completely all originals. So I'm now at a point where I'm just playing out all my own stuff. So seeing everyone sing along to everything was amazing. Yeah, it was really fucking good show.
Can you tell me what the future is for you?
Future for me, honestly, happiness. And that's going without going too deep. You've been doing this long enough. You go through so many different emotions and torment and mental challenges and struggles, and being able to stay in this industry this long is important to refocus on yourself a lot. So for me, it's touring a little bit less, but being a lot happier for it so that I can enjoy the time I'm out on the road.
That's nice.
Deep.
Yes.
Deep cuts.
Wholesome.
Like, I was not expecting that answer.
Well, I mean, it's pretty standard, I think. Like,
Yeah.
just wanting
I
to
don't know. I feel like a normal person in that situation would be like, I'm just going to be releasing so much new music. I'm going to be touring super hard. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm writing casually. I'm releasing stuff casually. I'm touring casually, and I'm very happy.
Well, like, that makes sense for the stage you're in. Like,
Yeah.
all of your work can, I don't know.
Speak for itself.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So,
And I want to provide quality, not quantity.
yes,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. There we go.